Hey there, TACT family, and welcome back to the next official TACT update for the whole Terrain Adaptive Combat Terrestrial family. That is you. It took a while for me to set aside a good deal of time in order to sit here accordingly this morning in order to put this together, but it was composed all the same. So, first of all, as we're going to sit here and address the TACT expansion project that was in my preceding documentative piece for TACT in spreading out on PlayStation 4 with the options that were previously given and allotted by you, the TACT viewers, and members that wanted to try and see TACT on different grids, in addition to the normal ones that were associated with. I will say for the most part that this is a yay, and so for one, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege was given as a yay, so TACT can also try to set up shop over there, as there are a good 4, 5, pending 6 and or 7 of our members that do have access or occasional access to the grid over there. So again, Rainbow Six Siege is a yes. And another one here that was also in favor of a yay for the time being was Paladins, the Champions of the Realm. This one was a yay automatically for, well, after a while, a yay automatically, because a majority of people can have insta-download access to this gameplay since it's free, and it was presented very strongly for free trial access for various different points of time online when you're on PlayStation 4 at the PlayStation Store. A lot of people have access to this. I say that it is temporary because a lot of people would preferably drop that choice and instead replace it with the Overwatch option. And while I am all for that substitution or stand-in to be the actual permanent decision to rule upon, not a lot of people do have access to the Overwatch edition or the Overwatch video game on PlayStation 4. Not a lot of people, or if anybody, has general access to it without the necessitation of either spending a pretty big fortune for the gameplay or trying to get it off of a game share. Both of which can be done, but are not always opportune. This perspective and the general course of actions for that initiative may change or fluctuate over time, so I would imagine that if enough people can put together a very good argument, or if enough people do surprisingly have it at the times when we're reviewing what's on the table or what's been proposed another time, then I can see this coming back up on the chopping block in order to assess. And when that does come, then I can give a proper assessed overview for what TACT's decision will be in that regard. Now, for another branch opportunity or opportune expansion that was reflected on but in turn was actually reneged on and was a nay, which I'm rather shocked at, was the expansion onto Destiny 2. And I can explain why this is, as the proposal and observation given by Flint Hart was fairly justifiable. And I'm not mad about it. It's just a very interesting revision. So, here's the case. When Destiny 2 had first dropped back on September the 6th, if I recollect correctly, while a lot of our friends did manage to pick the game up for all intents and purposes of obviousness, and are still presently on there clicking away, no-lifing the grid as I'm talking now, not a lot of TACT players had actually picked that up, which was a very interesting revelation of fact. Kids has access to that game. Doug has had access to that game. Flint has access to the game. A few of my friends have access to the game, even though they're not in my clan. And I believe the SonofAksis has access to it. So with Flint, Red, Kids, and occasionally Doug, but I don't think he wants to be thrown into this too strongly, as he only wishes to play it on select days or at select times, barring the exception of a very friendly raid or cooperative activity. That's four players. However, there's not enough there for TACT to have a consistently strong presence on the grid, as not a lot of people were really drawn into the gameplay like they were in the first game, and it's not as readily available for everybody as it was the first time around with Destiny, the first game. And so this is temporarily a nay, but over time, if other people could pick it up and or by chance may like the game or do wish to stay with the grid, then this decision can very easily be overturned. Also, in regard to the Destiny 2 project proposal, the revival of our brother clan, the Satanic Kings, from the first Destiny 1 video game adventure, has sparked a very good temporary collaboration of clan activity between T.A.C.T and TACT while we're over there on Destiny 2 in order to try to have a unified understanding for continuing our efforts in the video game play and just helping each other out in order to succeed in what there is able to be successfully accomplished on said grid of Destiny gameplay. And so while TACT itself can't physically be there in full, what TACT players that are there, it's as good as enough. So in short, to review, Destiny 2 is a nay, Overwatch is pending, Killing Floor 2 is pending, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege is a yes, and Paladins Champions of the Realm is also a yes. And so it has been spoken.
Foot is down, the foot is down.
Woo! Good job, gentlemen. That could have been a disaster.
Okay, next order of business here is going to be the roster outline that we're going to be having from here on out, and the amount of registered clan battles that have been requested from other clans in which to have with TACT. I'm going to put this on, well, I'm going to explain why it is I'm going to leave this to you guys, TACT, in order to decide what group it is that you wish to fight next. I'll explain this now while I'm going along. Due to IRL concern with needing my focus elsewhere for a bit, and in addition to the after effects with my equipment, my PS3 controllers with the aftermath following this last huge match that I had against Straxus Prime, a lot of my equipment and my controllers are non-responsive and are not functional at this time, so I have to figure out a way to either keep them on charge in order to let the controller try and catch a charge so it can start recharging. Otherwise, it's just dead and the Bluetooth feature is no longer working, and so I have to probably just destroy the controller or get rid of it, or try and get it refurbished, or just find a new one altogether here, because I kept teetering back and forth on trying to get a new controller for a very long time, and I kept taking risks every time this controller keeps acting up or whatnot, which is why I just continually kept replacing the cables. I can't replace the controller because the controller here was the industrial controller that came with the PlayStation 3 itself back in 2009 when I first got the unit. I'm still gonna keep trying to recharge this stuff and let it charge, because that's gone, and my backup controller is also non-functional, and so I'm trying to see if I can also let that also respectfully recharge. The only PlayStation 3 controller I have now that is available is one that I don't use for competitive actions or for any type of competitive environment, and that's the Saxzaxx Saxzaxx controller. That's like a glow-in-the-dark, like a lava lamp controller. I just use it casually when I'm playing stuff like maybe Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasy, but I don't use it for anything actually competitive, like COD or TF or Destiny or Borderlands. I don't use it for any of that kind of stuff because it's too bulky and I can't fit it in the palm of my hand to where I can use it how I would use it, where it's very loose. I have to continually keep breaking it in, but it's such a very stiff controller that it would be a huge amount of time before that could happen. And so what I'm going to do right now in the process of doing this is that I'm going to not play as overly competitively as I once did. But I'm still going to keep trying to play from time to time. I'm just not going to take any more one-on-ones from this point forward until I can get the problem fixed in my own right, so that way it'll be a lot more comfortable when I take more private matches into assessment. I will still help out with TACT practice and set up TACT practice in my own right, as will Grimwave and any others that are still respectively wanting to go through with TACT practice. That way you guys can continue to work cohesively as a team. So what I'm doing right now is I'm respectfully backing away from the whole competitive limelight of the Transformers scene, and I'm going to take a more casual effect in my online ventures, just being on PlayStation 4 for a bit in order to settle into the gameplays on there, take my stuff and my ventures and YouTube in a different direction, and just do something different for a change. I'm still going to be getting out all the rest of my pre-recorded sessions and whatnot that I have already recorded throughout the whole month of September and briefly from August, and that which was around my birthday and a little after. All those will still be coming out in due time while I'm on PS4. Also, while I'm going to be on PlayStation 4 for a bit, I'm mainly going to be trying to get used to the PlayStation 4 controller, and then if by chance I'm lucky enough to get really good with it on PlayStation 4 with the different types of gaming experiences that are yet to come, then I can try to see if I can turn on PlayStation 3 and see if I can use a PlayStation 4 controller on a PlayStation 3 and see how it would feel to use something of next gen on past gen and see how it feels, because if it can work, then I may be able to find an auxiliary controller without the necessitation of needing to go out and buy a PlayStation 3 controller as I originally had sought to do. I'm still going to do it anyway, but if I have a PS4 controller that can work just as well, I'll save money and just use the PS4 controller for a little while until I can respectfully find something that can replace my needs. Going into letting TACT decide what's going to happen next, there are still clan battle requests that are on the table that do need to be answered, and so rather than me sorting this out like I usually do in order to decide what clan battle it is that TACT is going to fight next, while I'm away in order to deal with my own ventures here, I'm going to respectfully leave this decision to you all, our family, in order to decide what clan you would like to battle next. And be honest about it. Be completely honest about it. Don't hold back on account of anybody else's feelings or account of your own transgressions. Be honest about how you feel TACT's strength is, what TACT's weaknesses are, and how we can use that knowledge advantageously or judiciously in order to tackle what clan battle you want to battle next. The clan battle requests on the table are as follows. First one here is against Nemesis, the third encounter, the third piece that they would like to have, because Nemesis had requested us to have a third respective clan battle against them. And taking in tow that with LSE's fall from grace, and then picking up LSE's original classic Golden Era roster that just vastly increased Nemesis's fighting power to huge capabilities. And so while they can easily match us with very relative difficulty, I still suggest that they can be taken down all the same. All you have to do is just know the enemy, know the environment, and know the people whom you are working with in order to accomplish the objective. And victory is not as overly challenging as it may originally perceive itself to be. Next is the clan battle that was on the table from a good ways back with TFL. Now, while it's a very, very good and prosperous clan battle that's on the horizon in battling them, I strongly recommend that we put that to the back burner at this time. And I'm going to briefly elucidate as to why this is. Now, like I said, a good clan battle is pending from those guys because there's no connection relevant issues that correlate with that clan this time around. Thank goodness. But the amount of difficulty that it would take in order to try to persevere and get through the type of magnificently intense clan battle that it's going to be is a lot. Like a lot. In addition, what also needs to be considered is the type of players that are playing for TFL, because all the players that they have are generally overpowered players, barring Lord Megatron probably, but I would still not count him out because LM has a lot of surprises. But as for my point, the point being is that it's fine if you do want to settle upon suddenly taking the TFL challenge out of nowhere, but I would strongly advise that you not take it out of nowhere, because I want you guys to just strongly consider the type of difficulty that goes into all the levels of that clan battle. And Team Deathmatch was generally a strong point for us, is not considerably a strong point now. Where Team Deathmatch is, for them, a group like them, is their most powerful asset. And it would automatically be a dead game for anybody that challenged them at Team Deathmatch. Just like it was for its predecessing clan, known by Elite Overlords, or Elite Legends as it is. So, just food for thought, you know. Next on the table is Furious and DTA, or Furious DT. However Pro Skills has the name for that group out, I'm not entirely sure, but I know that it is called DTA, which derives from GTA because it sounds so beautifully similar. But in any case, that's Pro Skills' clan that he made. He's in it. A few KOA or MOC people, I think, are in that group. And even the one particular person I remember from long ago, back on WFC, Mexi Prime 1, I remember playing with her in Mexi Prime, and she was the original one that actually managed to copy the name from the original Mexi Prime on leaderboards before it became before it was a famous tag that people wanted to try and make something out of. And so I definitely look forward to seeing her again if or whenever it is the time should come that Furious or DTA does get a chance to meet. Now, when I read the roster out, me personally, just to let TACT know, when I read the roster outline, I put it to the back burner in a sense because I'm not particularly fond of KOA being in the group, because we've had issues with KOA people before in a lot of their needlessly petty individual acts and actions. And so I decided to slowly and kindly distance myself from any particular relevance to KOA or to Masters of Cybertron, MOC, Stephen Lee, Mr. X, blah 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 blah, and it goes down the line to that terms. Now, this is a different clan and a different person in charge with a completely different perspective on how it wants to run things. And I trust Pro Skills' decision in having association with that group. And so I do wish to give them a chance. While I would not give MOC and KOA a chance, I will, however, give this new group a chance if they are in correlation with them, because it's a different atmosphere and it's a different clan environment that they're trying to offer. Since I finished sending this message back to Straxus. Next clan on the table is the Rebels of Kaon, or Rock as they call it. Now, Rebels of Kaon, this is actually a clan I have not seen that much of in action. And so I would preferably say to give a suggestion that I would like to see a clan battle with them, because I very rarely have seen a clan battle with them on file to see exactly what their members' true potentials do consist of, or their general type of team morale. Rebels of Kaon, I know, was a group that came out, I believe, earlier this year, sometime earlier this year, or the summer of this year. And they've had only about a few, maybe 5 or 6 clan battles in totality of their general things, but I haven't seen them really try to take to the forefront in being a generally highly active type of clan. And so I haven't seen them in that many clan battles, let's just say. And so I would like to definitely take a, for honor, I would like to take a chance at their run with their leader, the one they call ROK Blackfire, and see if we can't try and set up something at that point. Or if you guys wish to set up something at that point, and let me know. And then CB Request 5 was the original one that was assessed from a long time ago. That was the one I was supposed to take at the outset, but a lot of things in real life were pending between me and Spunk on both sides. And this was respectively the clan battle with Cap. We were supposed to have the match with Cap, which was the first of all of the clan battles that we were meant to actually have. But with IRL concern pending, and then their group taking, I believe, a sudden hiatus, or is just suddenly being an inactive clan, just like ACW right now, then it's off the table. So for our factors in general, I will instead replace that with the Cybertron Defense Forces, respective and probable inevitable challenge clan battle rematch. Because when their forces do become assessed, or when their leader does decide to settle upon the timing being correct, then he will be back, as I previously stated to you all that he might be back. So just be prepared for a sudden request from CDF out of nowhere, if that is the case. Anyway, that shall conclude the analysis for now that I will leave in tow for TACT. I'm headed off to PlayStation 4 now to rendezvous with Saxzaxx to go over a collaboration idea of sorts. You guys have a good one. If you need me, you always know where to find me. Peace, my friends.
The 3 Autobot brothers have arrived.
Okay, everybody, we're here. What was so important we had to be pulled off our regular runs to report to headquarters?
Take a look at this.